There's so many books this month. My arm's hurting from holding them up. Hey guys, so today I have a wrap-up video for you. The first book I read is Fancy White Trash by Maretta Jearling. This book was really cute. I talked about it a little bit in my library haul, but it is about a girl who feels like her family is fancy white trash. She pretty much does everything she can to not act like them. One of the main things that her family does is recycle boys. So she pretty much made a rule that no matter what, she will not date anyone that her sisters have ever dated before. But that turns out to be a problem. The boy that our main character likes might be the father of her sister's baby. So that's the dilemma in this book. I really like all of the characters. I especially love her gay best friend. He's really funny, and the whole book is just a funny, comical read. So I give it a thumbs up. I'd never heard anything about it before, but I saw it at my library and wanted to give it a try, and I'm glad that I did. Next, I read The Sky is Everywhere by Jandy Nelson. This book was really good. When I first started the book, I did not think I was going to like it very much. The writing is just really different, and the characters, every single one of them, are so very strange. But the more that I read the book, the more I fell in love with them and the writing and the story. So this is about a girl named Lenny, and her close sister Bailey passes away. And so this book is kind of about Lenny getting over that and learning to sort of create her own life outside of Bailey and getting over that pain. Really great contemporary book, and I think that you should check it out. So I'm not going to talk long about this book. This is Glow by Amy Kathleen Ryan. I actually didn't finish it because it was taking me like 2 weeks to read it, and I just could not do it. So it's not a bad book. Like, the storyline was good and it was going somewhere, but it was just taking me too long to read it. But for those of you who might be interested in checking it out, it is a sci-fi sort of book. If you like Across the Universe, I think you'll like this book. There was a whole lot of similarities with the two, so either that could be a good thing or a bad thing. For me, I guess it was a bad thing. Next, I read Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. Amazing book. Absolutely amazing. So I'm not going to talk a whole lot about it. I have a full review, which I'll link below if you want to know about it. But it is a very, very good book. I gave it 5 stars. I really want everyone to read this because it's great. Here's another one I can't talk a whole lot about because I didn't finish it. This is Embrace by Jessica Shervington. It's about a girl who's a Grigori, which is half angel, I think. It was taking way too long to explain things to her. Another thing is just the main character bugged the crap out of me. She holds this massive grudge against one of the main characters because they kept the secret that she was a Grigori from her. I was halfway through the book after she had found out that she was a Grigori and after she had accepted it herself, but she had still not forgiven that main character from keeping it from her. It was just highly frustrating, and I just couldn't get past it. I've had a lot of people tell me that the sequel is really good and that they think I should finish this one. Maybe someday I will, but this month I just could not do it. Next, I read Wake by Amanda Hocking, one of my favorite books of the month. It was awesome. So as most of you know, I really liked Amanda Hocking's trilogy, and this first book was even better than that series. Every single character in this book I fell in love with. So this book is about sirens, and it definitely has to do with Greek mythology. There's a whole story connected about where sirens came from, which I'll let you figure all that out in the book. But our main character ends up getting turned into a siren. But this is a really good book, and I highly, highly suggest it. I am so extremely excited for the sequel, Lullaby. I cannot wait for it to come out. Next, I read Bittersweet by Sarah Auchler. This was my very first Sarah Auchler book, and I am happy to say that I absolutely loved it. This is about a girl who is an ice skater, and she takes it very seriously. But because of certain things that are going on in her life, she decides to throw this really humongous competition, and she loses and pretty much loses her entire ice skating career because of it. And so now she is still in her same small town, but she's not ice skating anymore. She is actually making cupcakes in her mom's diner. This is a contemporary, so it's, you know, another one of those coming of age kind of things, I guess you could call it. Even though that's a really typical type of story, I love when a writer can still do it so well. You really feel for the character as things are happening to her, and it was really, really good. I I mean, I would recommend this book if you love Sarah Dessen, because it's as good as her books, honestly. So I really like Sarah Auckler, and I'm definitely going to read some of her other books. I finally read Uglies by Scott Westerfeld. It was pretty good. I was actually a little disappointed with it, I have to say. It's not that it was terrible, but I don't know. There's just a lot of other dystopians out there that are a lot better, I think. But it was still an enjoyable read, and I'm definitely going to continue with the series. So that is my thoughts on that. Alright guys, this is the last book that I read in October, and it is Dead to You by Lisa McMann. If I look a little distressed, there's a reason for that. I wanted to like this book so much, and it's not that I hated it, but there's one thing about this book that is like hindering me from enjoying it. While I was reading the book, I would have given it 4 stars. But then we got to the ending, so the ending made me give it 3 stars. You can't have a standalone novel that ends like that. Total major cliffhanger, and it makes me mad because it's like, now I have no idea what happened. You get connected to all these characters, you get connected to the story, and an ending like that, it just cuts off and doesn't finish anything. And you're like, what? What? And people say, oh, it leaves it up to your imagination and you can finish the story yourself. No. If you're going to write an entire book, you're going to write an ending for me. But I will say that it was a good story. It really had me intrigued, sped through it. I started it at 6 o'clock in the morning and then finished it at like 2 or 3 that day. I kept reading it, wanting to know what was going to happen. And I think that's why it was such a major disappointment for me, because there were so many loose ends that were never tied together. So I'm gonna stop ranting about this now. So that is it for my really long wrap up. I'm sorry that it took me forever to get through those, but there was a lot of books this month. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Dead of You? Dead of You? It's really not. I cannot think today. My dog's collar's ankling away. I mean, whoa, no. I'm never gonna get this video filmed. Oh, I just realized that it was still recording. Whoops. Her sister were really close. Oh, hey, there's my dog just hanging out. You're stealing mommy's thunder.